This is E-News Prime Time. A very good evening. Pretoria police have launched a massive manhunt for an escaped awaiting trial prisoner. Ananias Mate is facing 51 charges, including rape, murder and robbery. He managed to escape from super prison C-Max overnight. Police warn he is very dangerous.
Pretoria's C-Max. Its walls imprison some of the nation's worst criminals. It's built to be impenetrable and should be near impossible to escape. But somehow an awaiting trial prisoner breached the walls. 29-year-old Ananias Mate faces a long list of charges, including rape, murder, hijacking and robbery. He's tried to escape from C-Max twice before, and Correctional Services is at a loss to explain how he managed to break out this time. They have confirmed his handcuffs were found lying in his cell and the small glass windows were broken, suggesting he managed to somehow get out of the cuffs, escape out of the window onto the roof of the building and out of sight. Police and prison officials are now hunting for Mate and have warned he is extremely dangerous.
Mr. Mate is previously a Mozambican national. The preliminary investigation seems to suggest that he's a man who's got a military background or military training. And with that, that's what could have assisted him to manage to escape.
They're asking members of the public to be on high alert, but to avoid approaching Mate if they do see him. They've asked anyone with information on his whereabouts to contact police immediately. It's been almost 24 hours and still no trace of Ananias Mate. Police are searching frantically for any clues and say they aren't ruling out the possibility that his escape was an inside job. Belinda Moses, E-News, Pretoria.
Well, police have again had to arrest one of their own for murder. A Cape Town policeman is behind bars tonight after allegedly shooting dead his heavily pregnant wife. The woman's 10-year-old child was in their home at the time. It's the latest in a string of police family shootings.
Neighbours say the two police officers were a quiet couple. They worked together at the Kales River police station and were awaiting the birth of their first child next month. But early on Saturday evening, it all fell apart as 5 gunshots rang out.
I was just hearing shots coming down. So the lady next to me, I asked her, did you heard anything? She said yes. She also heard the lady was screaming.
The victim's young daughter was in the house at the time. Neighbours believe she hid under her bed as her mother was gunned down in the room next door.
The little girl came running over and said, I must come next door because something has happened. She didn't want to say what, so I called the police. When they got here, I went to the house with them.
The alleged shooter calmly answered the door.
The police asked him if everything was all right inside, and he said, no, I think you should come inside. He took them into the room.
His wife was lying on the floor in a pool of blood.
It's not clear where the suspect is being held, but staff at Kales River Police Station say it's not here. It's the second time in recent months they've had to deal with something like this, and many have had to receive trauma counselling.
In June, a policewoman from the same station narrowly escaped death when her policeman husband tried to kill her. She called the police, who arrived just in time to save her life. But it was too late for their 3 children. He shot them dead as they slept, then turned the gun on himself. He survived and is now facing 3 charges of murder. Robin Smith, E-News, Cape Town.
In other news, as National Disability Month draws to a close, disabled people have demanded government make good on its promises to them. They say the country's leaders are not properly implementing the integrated strategy on disability, and they've marched on Parliament to make their voices heard.
It was a march of a different kind. Hundreds of people with disabilities descended on Parliament in an attempt to force government to make good on its promises in the integrated strategy on disability. The strategy promises better access to healthcare, education, and tailored public transport. But the disabled say they've seen no sign of the promises coming to fruition.
We don't have public transport that can carry us around when we need to, like yourselves. We don't have education for everybody. We don't have employment for everybody.
The march formed part of an awareness campaign running in conjunction with National Disability Month.
We're here for the children's rights. They also need everything that a normal child needs.
We feel neglected by government, especially when we visit state institutions like clinics and police stations.
The network's given government until January 30th next year to respond to their demands.
When E! News Prime Time returns, the wedding celebrity spotters have been waiting for. Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes tie the knot in romantic Italy.